Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rise of the Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Kara.
And I'm Brownie. I'm saying it the short way this time.
Well, you said it so fast, I'm not even prepared what to say next.
I was going to say, last time you said it's super long. Didn't we get a bunch of subs or something? Dude.
I don't know if sustained vocal introduction is the key to getting subscribers.
If we lose subs, it's because of you.
Don't leave. So life this week, right? You come here, we have plenty of Star Wars to talk about. We'll get to Star Wars, but it's just like life this week, right? So we've had the episode where Chris's car broke down. I just had my car worked on, and
you know the people that worked on your car watch this podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's why I want to say. So thank you, David and Ryan, very much for working on the Mini Cooper and getting it.
Oh, that's not what you're saying. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. I'm getting it back to work.
Oh, hi, David. Different David. David Ouellette. Hey, Dave.
Oh, hi, David. So thank you guys very much. I needed to put in a new clutch in it, and it's a Mini Cooper, and I didn't want to. It's just way too hard for me. I don't have the space to do it anymore, and so Ryan did an awesome job on it and put a new clutch in it. The bearing was shot, so at least that was worth it. Like I did confirm.
Yeah, Kara. I'm just kidding.
It's not me.
It was Kara's learner car. No, just kidding. That was the red one.
Whatever.
The red one. Kara knows how to drive a stick.
I do know how to drive a stick. And the red one, it was because we've talked about this because a hitch slammed in. Well, I mean, I slid into it. It was an icy day. McDonald's apparently doesn't know how to salt their drive-thru.
They don't care. McDonald's does not care.
No, seriously. And so I hit the brakes like 30, 40 feet behind this truck. Nope, my car's went right into the back of this truck that's got a ball hitch about this big.
Kara's super excited about that McRib.
Yeah, right? So anyways, so the car is fixed, so that's exciting. I was talking to Chris. I mean, we hate car troubles. And the guy who was working on it, he was like, you're going to need a new radiator soon. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. And it's like, I know. I hate spending money on car stuff. But we were having a really cool pre-conversation today. So video games, right?
Really quick. Are we recording?
Haha. Did you see me go?
I was going to ask at the very beginning.
So is this week 3 or 4, Chris?
This is 3 out of 4 weeks. I forgot to hit record.
We need to get a sign right way up there out of camera view that says press record.
Yes. So here's the thing. I'm just trying to save Jeremy money.
That's right.
Right? The more I record, the more space it takes up. The more space it takes up, the more hard drives Jeremy needs to buy.
That's right. That's right.
So if I don't record the whole 15-minute pre-stream card that's up,
that's true.
That's an hour a month of storage space. That's almost a podcast
that
I'm
is
saving
insane.
every month.
Well, okay, all right.
Now, and by not recording the first 40 minutes of the podcast,
you're saving infinite money. Oh, so now you want me to? Now we need to talk. So I am an Apple phone user. We've talked about this in the past, but I love Google products and Google services. So, Chris, the last time I bought a phone, I upgraded it I always pull out Google Photos. Have you used Google Photos, Chris?
I don't really like Google Photos.
So for me, I open up Google Photos. It takes a snapshot of all my stuff. It uploads them, and then it tells me all these photos have been uploaded. Go ahead and delete them off your phone. It auto deletes them off of your phone, and then I have them safely backed up. Google Photos is getting rid of that service.
Oh.
And it's not unlimited storage anymore. So anything that you uploaded as a photo, it didn't count towards your email storage through their Google Photo app.
Your email, your Google Drive, and your photos are all tied together.
Now they're going to be whatever after whatever time, which is really a bummer because...
Well, I'll say this. A person who has earned money professionally as a photographer, takes so few photos on my phone. Let me just do a quick count.
Should we all count?
Oh, I guarantee you I have more than all of you.
Because I delete it.
Don't count memes or screenshots.
Yep, I'll do camera roll.
Okay, where's camera roll?
You can just do your whole album, Kara. How many screenshots?
Because I have.
Oh, if you scroll down, it'll say photos.
Oh yeah, so it just tells me how many are on my camera roll. Okay, I have my number.
Wait, where is it? Help me.
Go all the way up. Just do that right there. You've got
that?
one. Yeah,
but that's memes and everything.
Well, they're close enough.
That's fine. Like I could do the math and add all mine up, and it's still gonna be.
All right, so I've got 489 currently on my phone.
Oh, that's cute, Chris.
I have 160.
And you okay? So I literally have like 3 times your numbers combined. I have 1,848 photos on my phone.
So the number one. So I guarantee you it's probably gonna be the same for all of us. What's the number one most pictured thing on your phone?
The dog.
Oh, probably.
Toby.
Oh, Toby.
Toby for me for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's your pet.
When I was setting up,
100%.
so I got a Chromecast today.
Yep.
Right? When I was setting it up, it's like, oh, what do you want your screensaver to be or whatever? So do you want it to be like an image gallery or whatever? And so it had the Google photo memories, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Thing pulled up, and like the first 30 pictures were pictures of Toby.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, literally, Toby's sitting right next to me while I'm setting this thing up, and I was like, I have a reference right here. I don't think I need pictures of him as well.
That's really funny.
Gabe says, hello, my favorite podcast. I'm sorry that we're
Hello,
your favorite
Gabe.
podcast.
No, don't be sorry. Hello, Gabe. Gabe
he-
the Ewok is still present.
He says we need an on-air sign. So here's the problem. I'll remember to turn that on and still not hit record.
What you really need is one that's
A
linked.
macro.
Yeah, exactly.
I need a macro to hit on air, and then everything starts.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah.
David Wallen says, I have 5,300. But I guarantee all yours are going to be your
Oh.
kids.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've got
53
kids.
As soon as you become
on
a
his
parent, your
phone?
camera roll just becomes dedicated to your children.
And then here's the other thing. What's the memory on your phone? Because we've got the what?
64s.
64 gigs. So,
I think mine's 8.
No. With
Chris,
8
how long
gig
have you
phone?
had that phone?
But you have an Android, so you can sit. You could
Eight.
micro SD it up, right?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
I can put up to a terabyte micro
SD
SD
card
in
in it,
here
yeah.
and recognize.
Dang.
So
But it's just like, so here's the thing. People have cameras on their phones that are amazing.
right, they're
This is like you stuck a lens onto a potato. This thing sucks. So here, like, the front-facing camera is like 2 megapixels,
good. Oh man.
and the rear camera I think is like 12, which is decent,
right.
right?
It's
But it's like
fun.
it's
The quality
It's got
isn't, yeah.
it's got no dynamic range. There's no I don't want to say like pro controls. Like I can't be like adjust brightness. I don't have any controls.
Oh, you see, like we can hold our fingers down and then swipe up and adjust the exposure up or down.
And we
Yeah,
can
I-
choose like 4K or
Yeah.
at least for like video and stuff, 4K,
Yep.
1080p and stuff like that.
So yeah, I literally this phone is for talking to Jeremy.
That's it.
basically
That's
why
it.
I have it. Jarrett 2972. Daryl Davey, hello.
Hi,
How-
Daryl.
Hello, Daryl.
How many photos are on your camera roll? We're seeing. I have 160.
I'm mad
I've
about
got
Google Photos
1800.
as the context. It's because I love them. Now, here's what I should do. Guys, should we see how many you have on Google Photos?
Yes, actually, I'll check on mine too because mine have I did migrate automatically because my card
Oh.
for my camera gets full.
I don't know if I've got Google Photos on my phone.
Is there a way to tell the total?
Oh, I do have Google Photos. Oh, it's reinstalling.
Is there a way to tell the total? Sorry
Library.
about this.
I don't know if there's a way to tell the total or not. But I've got stuff from like 8 years ago on
Oh
here.
my gosh. I think all my phone photos always end up on my computer. So, however many photos I have on my computer at home.
So here's another thing that I don't like about Google Photos when it automatically takes like 20 of your pictures and does like a creative interpretation or
Yeah,
something. It's
I
like
know.
get out of here, Google. I don't want to know that you're here.
I do have photos on my Google Photo back to 2005. That's how long I've been using the service.
Dang. 15
Hello,
minutes.
Joshy. Welcome.
Oh,
Joshy!
Joshy!
Daryl says 292, so still more than me, but he says his phone is new.
Oh, well, that's the funny thing about David. David got a new phone, and he's still got the 5,300 pictures.
Well, did not
so
did
David
David's photos
transferred.
get- yeah, I was gonna say.
He transferred. You gotta start fresh. That's my favorite thing about getting a new phone.
Jim Gaffigan did a bit about how like all of our computers are just like storages are like our new photo albums basically.
Yes.
And he's like oh, the computer's full. I guess just we'll go buy a new one. It's like there's our wedding computer and that's our computer
Yeah.
who went to Cabo. So it's just like you don't transfer it up. You just keep the whole thing.
Yep.
Oh, so Chris, that's exactly me, but it's hard drives. So the problem is I've got hard drives I can't interface with anymore.
Yeah,
They're
because the old
IDE.
connector. Yeah,
yeah.
the IDE. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I either have to get like an IDE to SATA converter or whatever.
sure
or
that
just-
exists.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, of course it does.
But yeah, I've got hard drives sitting there, and it's like I want to get rid of them because they take up space, but I need to up.
What we need to do is we just need to pool our money into a NAS.
So
and then we'll have the Jeremy section, which is going to be like 1 terabyte. Then we'll have the brownie section, which is like 1,000 terabytes.
oh man, it is time. I was reading, and then all these people were posting like, and you know what amazes me is how salty the internet is.
How does that amazing? The internet is the saltiest place on earth.
It truly
So-
is.
What's that Dead Sea is supposed to be? This? No, it's the internet.
Yeah, so here's what was crazy. This website did a poll to their users, and they
Daryl
said,
says phones are just family photo albums now.
"That's exactly
yeah,
it."
no, that was the point I was trying to get to. So it's not computers anymore; it's just old cell phones. Just sitting there, like, oh, we got to turn that one on to see Jeremy's baby pictures.
That's right.
Oh, Chimera, hello, dang, we got the whole Latin
Hello.
operations forces coming out
Oh,
here.
hi guys.
What's up, guys?
We're gonna be talking about AC Valhalla here in a little bit too, and historical weapons and everything else fun under the sun. But I'm just getting caught up on life stories.
My hairstyle is Viking kind of themed. Got like
Yeah, kind of
this-
like that braid-ish.
Yep, down the front and then
and
a
show off
couple
your cool
braids.
T-shirt.
Oh, if anybody
I was-
can read it around the fat belly.
Oh, the chat's kind of covered, but it's that 40th anniversary Empire.
Yep.
So talking about
Tangent
hairstyles, we
yesterday.
got 20 tangents to clear
I
up
know.
real quick.
I know.
So I haven't cut my hair basically since COVID.
Dang
And
boy.
I've trimmed the sides. I have like an undercut right now.
Yeah, that's real Viking.
Here's what you do. You get the Ragnar Lothbrok cut. Just shave the sides and then just braid it back.
Well, so what I was talking about, because I have trimmed my beard just because it gets long and annoying, and I was like, oh, my hair's almost long enough I could like braid it down into my
your
beard.
You need to start doing those beard chains, Chris.
I've
Where you
s-
like,
Yeah, put beads in them and stuff like that.
but the cool ones.
Yeah, you mean the non-stupid ones that
Yeah.
don't exist?
So the one thing I was going to say about the salty of the internet, and then we'll probably get off of Google Photos, I guess, was so this article or this website that was doing an article on it. They polled people, their viewers, their users.
I got called out. I meant to say since Walmart.
Oh, got it. They polled their users, and they said, "Are you going to A, keep using Google Photos and then pay for it? B, like find a different service that's free, or C, find a different service and pay for." And more people were going to pay for a different service other than Google because they were mad at Google and didn't want to give them their money.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
the
like
whole reason
so
why
it's like
Jeremy left AT&T and went to T-Mobile.
you could continue paying them, and then you're going to take that same amount of money and just pay somebody else in
That's despite. Yeah.
despite. And more people are going to pay somebody else and move all their photos over
I
because they're
would have
mad
called
at
that.
Google.
I would have even done the poll.
You know?
that's so obvious was going to be the option.
I couldn't believe it. But so I was reading, and a bunch of people are like, you need to start your own photo service, like your own photo, like your own private.
You know what we need to do? We need to pull our money together, get a bunch of hard drives, and start a server farm.
Well, there you go.
And that's where the money's at. AWS, all those like Google storage solutions, all these people. It's just we'll go buy a warehouse out in the desert like everybody else, hook up an air conditioner, and just have 1 million freaking hard drives. That's literally all we need to do. Money in the bank.
You know what they do overseas in some cases? We go and we put the server racks in people's houses, and that supplements their heat.
That's smart.
That's what they
Like
do.
people in Siberia.
Well, yeah. So what they'll do is you can.
Except I don't want some guy being like, "Oh, what is this? I don't play around with hard drives. Oh, sorry, deleted the entire channel."
You build server where you can rent out your house for server racks, and then people supplement it with heat. Like they'll
That's-
use the heat.
I think that's smart because
Yeah.
it's like otherwise it's waste heat, right?
Otherwise, it's waste heat that you're trying to cool down with
so
AC.
here's what we do is we build the server room and then we use that to power a hydro turbine and generate electricity with it.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
And recoup some of it back.
Exactly. So it's like we're keeping it cool and we're turning it into electricity.
You saw
We've
it
got
first.
about 900 comments I got to go through here real quick.
All right. Well, I'll tangent about video games. So
Let's see here. Ashley says, she said a bunch of stuff that I accidentally skipped over and I didn't mean to. She said if I didn't move my photos to Google Photos, I'd have over 1 million of her kids.
I believe it.
Al Wallen says he has going back to 05 as well.
Yes.
That's like when all this turned on. Like
Yeah.
Google like activated in 2005. I know it pre-existed.
Yes.
That was like the year of stuff happening.
Al sent me my invite for Gmail,
and you sent me.
and I sent
Yep.
it to you.
Yeah, so I'm 2 degrees away from Al. in terms
I
of
still
Google.
have bonus Dropbox storage because of all the people that accepted my invites.
Dang.
Yeah.
Let's see here. David says, Wallen says, I just backed up to Google Photos beginning of October because I ran out of space, and I'm already up to 499.
Jeez.
She says she has easily 20K photos on Google Photos. Ashley does. And then me getting called out for saying, not Walmart. Daryl says 40th t-shirt is cool, but One Punch Man takes the cake.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I pulled this out today from retirement. It just, I have all of these cool shirts. Like, I have a Minecraft periodic table elements, but I was like, you know what, Saitama has got to be the choice today.
Nissa, 12,753 photos.
Oh,
it's
man.
I guess it's not ridiculous. I'm glad that people are taking photos that matter and they can look back on them and stuff. I just don't for some reason.
Yeah.
And what I do, so of the 160 photos I have like 150 photos of Toby. And then like a picture of that thing that I couldn't see behind the couch.
Right.
You know, like random stuff like that. Latin Operations Forces says, since AC Valhalla's tonight's topic, we've been exploring the map looking for all the secrets, and Gabe is doing the story.
Ooh. So
Daryl says dibs on your shirt when you shrink it in the wash.
that's awesome. Absolutely, Daryl, you're my first.
No. In the words of Saitama. Okay.
So, all right, we'll talk about Assassin's Creed for a little bit. So, Gabe specifically, I have done some business on Chalbert's storyline. I can't talk about it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Me specifically.
The Chalbert storyline is out of this world. I mean, I've got half the map committed to me. I've explored a bunch, but I've been dying to have somebody to talk to about what's happening. And before we came down here, Kara was helping Sigurd find Folke, or they found
Spoilers.
Folke.
Folke?
So there's some stuff that's going to happen up in Kara's timeline that I'm really excited for. But we met you guys, there was awesome pre-conversation tonight. So the one thing I was talking about is that, the leveling up system can be a little confusing. So how you upgrade your weapons and
It's
everything
confusing
in that
when
game.
your voice goes up an octave.
It can be a little confusing. So, the word on the street is people on the internet were having problems upgrading their gear. So I was just making sure everybody that's playing is getting their gear upgraded right and everything. We were just talking about awesome gear. So the whole entire game, out of respect for my father, which he gets killed in the game right away. It's like the first 5
Your
minutes.
dad died?
Your dad dies.
Oh,
Varen.
Oh, yeah.
Not. Yeah.
Not my dad, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry died as soon as I fired it up.
But I was using a bearded axe out of respect for the whole game until I switched to a greatsword. And I love Dark Souls. You guys know that.
Yeah.
And walking around with the greatsword reminded me of Dark Souls. It looks so cool because your character just walks around. You've got it resting on your shoulder with one hand. There's a perk you can get where you can carry 2 heavy or 2-handed weapons in one hand each.
Yep.
So you can carry a great axe along with a great sword around, and then your moves are based on the combination of what style weapons they are.
Have you named your sword?
You can't. They're already named.
Oh, we should name it Alexander the Great Sword.
So I asked,
Gabe said he already has the entire map committed to him and only one settlement left.
oh, so he
Dang.
knows.
Okay,
So,
how many
all right.
hours do you have in the game?
We'll have to talk.
5.
I will message you on Discord about the Chalbert storyline. Because, woo, that is lit. It is unbelievably good. I just want to spoil it right here for Kara, but...
Oh, man.
Oh, man. There is...
Y'all want to see marital strife on the podcast, it would be right then and there.
So I will message you on Discord, Gabe, because it's so fantastic. So yeah, I've got Vinland. I've got 3 or 4 settlements left, and that's it.
I'm in Exeterfordshire right now. That's where I'm at.
I feel like they just put extra dumb words into writing actual names in England. This is Leicester, but instead of Leister, it's 14 extra letters.
Well,
Well,
there's-
this is historical fiction. They try to follow it. So these were the original names. So London, it's Lunden.
Okay.
and then there's West. There's
Wessex is in there.
Wessex is in there, and then then there's I said,
Oxenfordshire, which is
Oxenford,
Oxford
yeah.
nowadays.
all the
Fun.
dang
Yeah.
crazy name locations.
I think this is Gabe. They didn't sign this one though. It says they're using Excalibur and a heavy shield.
Ooh, wait, there is an actual Excalibur?
Maybe.
You're in England.
Oh, I suppose. Did he go pull the sword from the stone? Spoiler alert. I should also
Is
tell
there
you,
a stone to pull a sword from?
I don't
Are
know.
you spoiling? Are the Arthurian legend or spoiling the game?
I don't know.
Oh, Jeremy, you're trying to play dumb.
Look at Jeremy turtlenecking
He says
it.
a sword that looks like Excalibur.
Oh, got it. But no, so just so I'll carry it around now. I'll switch it up between 2 great swords. So I've got a scimitar. Is that what it's called?
Scimitar.
A scimitar.
Yep.
And so I'll
That's
have
like the big curve.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they made it greatsword style, so it's big. It's two-handed.
Dang.
So like I've
Just
got one
chop
on
3 people in half at one time.
I've got one on each shoulder, which reminds me of the scenery is just so beautiful.
Yeah.
But we were talking about it, and so I asked Chris. I was like, I mean, did a greatsword really exist? Did people really have these massive swords that they would like just? I mean, if you did land a blow, it would have to kill the guy. You know, I can't imagine.
I pulled up the classification of swords on Wikipedia, so take this as you will.
All right, here we go. How does real life compare to AC?
All right, so this is we're just in the terminology section will not help, but terminology is further complicated by terms introduced or misinterpreted in the 18th century by antiquarians and by 20th century pop culture. And the addition of new terms such as greatsword, zweihander, beihander, cut and thrust, and others. Historical European martial arts associations have turned the term spada da lato into side sword, blah, blah, blah. There's much, so all this terminology where people get bent out of shape about stuff, it's just a cluster, right? And nobody knows anything.
So this is like
Right,
Baby Yoda and the child territory. Like historians are like,
but
actually,
but if nobody, but if in universe they did call him Baby Yoda and the child,
right?
that would be where it's like it's that level. So the term two-handed sword is used as a generic term and may refer to any large sword designed to be used primarily with two hands. The European longsword. So most people call what they call long swords is not a long sword.
It's actually
like when you think of a long sword, you think of a one-handed sword, right? Wrong. It is not a one-handed sword. It is a two-handed sword.
Got it.
So you got to think more claymore, less Excalibur.
Got it.
The late medieval claymore, not to be confused with the basket-hilted claymore of the 18th century, is a two-handed sword. The Beidenhander is the favored Landsknecht of the 16th century Germany. The term hand-and-a-half sword is modern. During the first half of the 20th century, the term bastard sword was used regularly to refer to this type of sword, while longsword or longsword hyphenated was used to refer to rapiers, which is why people call long swords inaccurately a one-handed sword instead of a two-handed sword.
Got it.
The term single-handed sword or one-handed sword is a retronym to disambiguate from two-handed or hand-and-a-half swords. So there's no such thing as a one-handed sword in the vernacular of the day. It was just a sword. The double-bladed sword is a melee weapon that had a grip in the center and two long blades emerging from either end.
It would have been Darth Maul.
Exactly. So it existed, but there's not a lot
I
of prominent...
had no idea that a sword like that even existed.
No prominent examples of it. Great swords referred to... or great swords or great swords, spaced or not spaced, are related to the long swords of the Middle Ages. The greatsword proper was developed during the Renaissance, so after the Middle Ages.
So that's well after what we're in, because we're in like 800 right now, 850, 880.
Yeah, so that's like early or mid Dark Ages. Middle Ages are like 900 to 1100 or 1200. The Scottish Claymore was similar in size. I don't know metric, so 160 to 180 centimeters, approximately the same height as the user, so like a person-sized sword.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Could you imagine swinging a sword this long?
So that was from the 800s or 900s was the claymore, and then later a newer version of that came to be in the Middle Ages.
That's got to be just to clunk past these shield walls and everything that people put up, because you're just coming down and you're not going to stop that much iron.
No.
Yep. And so then claymore can refer to either the long sword with a distinctive two-handed grip or a basket-hilted sword that was developed from a rapier. The two-handed claymore is an early Scottish version of a greatsword. The Zweihander or Beihander, two-hander or both-hander, is a true two-handed sword in the sense it could not be wielded in only one hand. It is a specialized weapon wielded by certain mercenary soldiers called Doppelsoldners.
Crazy.
Obviously Germanic.
Yeah.
So that's about as much as yes, it existed. It's got a weird history. It's all over the place chronologically. It wasn't ever super duper prevalent except for with the Scots and some Germanic tribes, and has had a million different names, none of which are right.
But it's just like technology.
Oh, so Daryl, double check me on that. I know that you actually know a lot about swords. So if any of that was inaccurate, let me know.
Well, then you have the flip side of it. You've got someone like my dad who's always tried to impass his love of samurai swords onto me. And I've learned all about, like taking the tang off and looking at the signature or the grip and you can see the sword maker underneath
And
and the
seeing
bamboo
the
pins
age
that
of
hold
the
it in.
stingray or whatever that the skin came
yeah,
from,
the,
based on the size of the
actual the skin or the hilt, the handle on samurai swords is actually made from manta ray skin.
That
and the
manta ray.
That's
larger
the wrap, right?
Yep.
That goes around it. Yeah.
the larger the bump, the older the manta ray was. So
You know, they don't say the larger the bump, the older
Yeah.
the manta ray.
so back then, manta rays were older because the older ones were more available because they'd be bigger, easier to kill. They weren't mass murdered or whatever, to make these.
Harvested, we'll say.
Yeah, harvested. So, they're all bigger the manta ray bumps, the better, and then that's all wrapped with the cloth or the cord, and you see it sticking underneath, and then you've got like the tang, and starts with the S, the suba. The suba
That sounds right.
is the piece that is like the equivalent to a tang on a regular sword. The suba's up here. You got the little handle piece at the bottom. I can't remember what that's
Well,
called.
the tang is the part of the sword that extends into the grip.
Okay, that's the tang. So then the tang and then the suba. Then you've got the grip, the pins. But there's a name. There's a jewel underneath that you usually put underneath there for good luck.
Yeah.
And then
Equivalent to like a decorational pommel.
I
on
knew
a
the name
regular
for the
horde.
bottom too. It's like the pummel, but
Yeah.
there's a name for the Japanese one.
I'm sorry that we're failing. Daryl also probably would know all of this.
He's probably at home just
He's
yelling.
just having an aneurysm.
He's typing it all out as we can speak. The little bubble for his the upcoming message bubble is just rattling
Freaking
next
out.
to his name.
But the manta ray thing, I thought it's cool that nowadays there's smaller bumps
Yes,
because they're not as old.
you can't find old ones.
Yeah.
Daryl says, "I'll wait for the larger the bump, the older the manta ray T-shirt."
So
I want to catch up real quick on a couple of comments, unless this is
it's
just
just
gonna wrap up quick.
AC. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Gabe says there is an actual Excalibur you have to find. David says there's an achievement for pulling a sword out of a rock.
Oh,
So,
there you go. Yeah.
Spoilers. Ugh.
Latin operations, or Gabe says looking for Thor's armor so I can go and pick up the hammer.
No way. Is that a thing? Because you go to.
I don't know what's true and what's not. I'm just reading the comments.
No, I know. You go to Asgard though.
You do.
You go to Asgard and you go to Jotunheim. I hated the Jotunheim arc. Because it's all about illusions.
Oh yeah.
What do you got for us, Chris?
Oh,
Anything?
just Daryl says you're killing me, Small.
So, anyways, all right. So back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So, all right. So the game is awesome. I'm loving the absolute story, but the weapons have been really cool for me. So then, of course, I've played tons of Dark Souls. I've played tons of other medieval games. And who doesn't love a good sword, right? So
Yep.
watching the Vikings TV show and playing this game, it's super cool to use an axe. Like, an axe is so intimidating. Watching somebody come with you an axe, it's like got the heaviness of a blunt, like a weapon you were talking about, Chris,
Yeah.
but then the blade of a sword. It just seems like a great weapon.
Well, some of the stuff too, because it's like the curve from nature. You can actually grab and pull shields down, and then there's a lot of extra versatility. So sure, you might not be able to hide what direction you're coming from, as well as a double bladed sword, but it doesn't really matter because you have that extra power and versatility.
It's crazy that you said that. So then I was intrigued. I was like, why would you ever use an axe over a sword or a sword over an axe? So again, yes, an axe does more damage, and it's has the blunt behind it, but it's easier to read the attack.
Yep.
So swordsmiths, or sword fighters can just pokey, and
Also, it depends. You can't poke somebody with a scimitar.
oh, right,
Scimitar's
that's
a
true.
slashing only weapon.
That's
But
true.
scimitars, those things were curved for a reason. Those
Yeah.
things will destroy. Because I remember in Greatest Warrior or whatever that show was. Do you remember that show, Chris? They'd pit
Oh, yeah.
a Roman soldier against a World War II soldier or whatever.
That was a great show until season
Loved that.
3.
I remember the scimitar was one of the weapons they used, and they had this whole thing that because of the curve, it just helps continue the
Yeah.
cut right
It
through the
the
body.
blade
There's-
carries the edge or whatever.
Yeah.
There's
Says samurai
there's a
swords the same
variant
way.
of it called the Killage that was the end up being the best pound for pound weapon ever. It's Killij, I want to say. And they're
Fitting.
in their simulations or whatever, it's just anybody that ever had that just wiped everybody out.
Well, I can talk about the coolest fact I know about samurai swords, at least, and it falls in line with scimitars. So, you want a sword that'll hold an edge, right? Mm-hmm. Got to be hard steel. But hard steel is very brittle.
I think I know this fact. Go
If
ahead.
you want a sword that's not brittle, it's got to have soft steel. It can take a lot of impacts. So what the Japanese did with samurai swords is it's hard steel down the center where the blade is to hold an edge for a long time, all wrapped in soft steel. And I want to say it was a byproduct or an accident that the curve came from the difference of steels. So when they cool it and then you get the curve in the blade is from that difference of the steels. But the fact that it's curved, the blade carries the edge. So you can hit and the curve carries the cut.
Yeah, because you end up having functionally a longer sword in a shorter area.
Yep.
And so that's why they stay sharp and they're not brittle.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct on the two different types of steel. I don't know if that's what causes the curve, like you said, but
Yeah, I think it's what causes the curve.
yeah, but it's like in the process of them making the folds for the thing, they harden one part of it and leave the rest of it normal, so it has the ideal combination of hard and soft steel, so it's not going to shatter when you hit something, but it's able to keep a razor sharp edge.
Nice.
The decorative jewel is called a Manuki, and I swapped one out for an honest-to-God Catholic exorcist blessed cross so I can fight ghosts, in case anyone's asking.
I'm guessing this was Daryl.
Yeah, you don't even have to guess. Yeah, that one is there.
So, yeah. That's awesome. You should bring that in next time you come by.
I should.
No,
I have.
Daryl should.
I have one too.
You guys can have a samurai sword fight.
No, we cut bamboo together or something.
Cut watermelons. So you can cut the cleanest
I
watermelon
will put my money
wedge.
on Daryl 100% of the time.
All right, so I got to take another tangent from video games, and I'm going to talk about melons because you guys are talking about melons. So, anybody knows...
Of course, Jeremy has a melon story.
Well, I just want to say... Melons are a fruit you'd never think you'd get into a conversation. I don't ever think I'm going to talk about where to put peanut butter and jelly and the proper way to make macaroni and cheese or the proper way to make instant oatmeal. But I want to talk about melons, and I hope I haven't told this. I probably have told this story.
I don't know if I've heard a melon story from you.
Yeah, you have. You'll know as soon as I get there. So you walk down somewhere in any type of buffet style line ever, and there's always going to be honeydew or cantaloupe cut up.
Those are the same...
Well, one's green, one's orange. So,
okay,
we're gonna get to this.
I argued this with him before.
No, you got. I am.
No. Go on. No, I have no stake in this. I don't eat melon very much.
No,
so
I know. I
defer to you.
And you're gonna love this, Chris. So, I was walking by one day and I was like, "Oh, look they've got muskmelon today."
That's
to my
what I was
coworkers. Okay. Muskmelon refers to honeydew, cantaloupe, or watermelon. It is the general name for melon. Now, why can't
it's like going up from the species to like in the taxonomy, you're just going up one.
It's a muskmelon. Now, why I can't say melon, I don't know. It's because of Nintendo. The thing that Yoshi eats, that to me is a melon. The things that get cut up, if they're honeydew, cantaloupe, or watermelon, in a collection, in a group, that's muskmelon. That's what I've always called it. So no one around this buffet had heard of the term muskmelon. So they're like, it is just something you learn in cloquet, I guess. And it's like, and I was like, no, for real. So I did 23andMe, right? The whole genetics thing. Mm-hmm. I kid you not. I filled out I got an email. I was like, hey, we have updated survey questions today. There was a melon question on there, and it showed me a watermelon and a honeydew and a cantaloupe, and it said, do any of these melons taste bitter to you? No. Do you have any preference for any one of these melons? And I was like, no, I love them all. And they're like, if you had to pick one melon, what would you pick? And I picked watermelon. Who wouldn't pick watermelon over honeydew or cantaloupe?
Basic.
I know, I kind of like honeydew.
No way.
No, watermelons, I think, way more flavorful than...
Like, here's
all
the
of them are pretty like in terms of like flavor, but I think the watermelon has the most flavor.
Here's the thing: you gotta grab that sucker and you gotta knock on it, and if it sounds hollow, that's a good one.
No, you gotta find the
sweet
one that's got the yellow spot on one side, and that means it was actually sat long enough to get ripe or whatever.
These are all myths.
No,
Old wives' tales.
Right?
Daryl says it's time to duel, by the way.
Right.
Latin Operations Forces says, is there something Jeremy doesn't have a story about? A mystery to be solved.
Yeah, I think he's got a story for it. He's like his dad. There's a story for everything.
Yep.
Anyways, it just makes me mad because apparently, like, no one else likes calling him muskmelon. But it's like, if for some reason people love cutting up like cantaloupe and honeydew and then they serve them together and cut up chunks.
Didn't we tell him on this story? My mom agreed with you that muskmelon
was
it's
the,
an
like,
all-encompassing melon term.
Because I just feel it just feels weird to me to say, oh, you got nice melons there.
That's why you got slapped last week.
Yeah,
Jeremy.
just saying, oh, look, you've got some muskmelon. People aren't going to get confused. Just saying melon doesn't seem good enough. And if you say, oh, look, you got honeydew,
Jeremy's like,
and they're
hey,
like,
check out those melons.
right? It's actually honeydew and cantaloupe or whatever. You know, like, I don't know. There's words that exist for a reason. And in this case, if you only had honeydew,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, look, that looks like good honeydew. You know, like, I wouldn't say muskmelon if it's just one style of melon. I would refer
But
to
because
it,
they had the variety.
because
Yeah,
it
that
was
makes sense.
mixed. You know, that's
muskmelon.
that's
You're not
that.
gonna be like, oh, I love this watermelon honeydew and cantaloupe.
Just that's a mouthful. Who wants to say
Marge, we're out of chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry ice cream.
that? I just saw that episode. He only eats the chocolate out of it.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have like 10 boxes of it in the freezer.
It's Neapolitan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Obviously.
Neapolitan, but he doesn't call it Neapolitan. He calls it chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry ice cream. And he opens like 3 or 4 boxes where only the chocolate is missing, and he puts them all back, and he says that they need more of it.
So then she
Oh
goes
my
to get more.
gosh.
It's so funny.
So okay, here's the thing. Just buy chocolate ice cream.
Well, that's the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daryl says Jeremy loves talking about and apparently accosting melons in the market.
Well, the tangent came from cutting
He
using
just stands
swords.
there just like and yelling. He's like, "This is the muskmelon section in Super 1."
Stay away. All right, so let's go back to Assassin's Creed for just one more second. Kara, I'm going to spoil something for you.
Nope. You don't spoil anything.
No,
for
no.
me.
It's
don't
not
be a jerk.
It's not ruining the story.
I don't
But
wanna
did
hear
you
it.
know
Nope.
you can ride a wolf?
I didn't know that.
According to Dave Filoni's cover photo on his Twitter, Ahsoka rides a wolf.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
A
Maybe
lost
she's
wolf.
playing Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, she probably is. Maybe that's his way of saying that. She played Assassin's Creed.
I do have a wolf friend in Assassin's Creed and a fox friend named Dandelion Puff.
You have a wolf friend right next to you.
Yep.
That's probably just
To
like
scale.
Yeah, right. So, anyways, I'm excited. I don't. So, Gabe, how do you get the wolf? I wanted to, if you know, tell me because I saw it in
Now this
gameplay.
has to be a dire wolf. This can't. Just
Oh,
be
it's a
regular-
dire wolf.
Are you
It's-
hungry
I was
like the
gonna
wolf?
say.
Yeah, are you hungry like the wolf? And your character's nickname is Wolf Kissed.
You
So,
got this-
because he gets
big
bit
old
by a wolf
scar.
on the neck.
Or in my case, she gets bit by a wolf.
Daryl says, you can ride anything once.
Well, there's those guys in Canada who got in trouble for riding a moose.
What?
There was a moose swimming. They look stupid. Like, that's very inappropriate.
Well,
Very mean.
Moose are freaking huge.
So
And they're
the
mean.
moose is swimming across the lake, and they pull their boat up next to it, and a guy jumps off and hops onto the moose, and he's riding the moose. And then the
Number one way to get killed in Canada.
Well,
Seriously.
like Canada, people don't get upset about a lot, but you don't mess with their mooses.
They don't get bothered to boot a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about a boot a
I
lot.
believe moose is the plural of moose.
Moosin'.
Wait, what is the plural of moose?
Moose is the plural of moose.
Moose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Oh, you guys.
skit?
David's probably going nuts because his dog's name is Moose.
Oh, hey moose,
Moose.
Down,
Here,
Moose,
boy.
what a good boy.
you want a treat? Is
Come here, Moose.
it time to go outside, moose?
Yeah. Want to go for a walk,
Yeah, I was gonna
Moose?
say, I want to go for a walk.
We've just lost a sub. Latin Operation Forces says, I use a wolf and I feel like Jon Snow with ghosts.
See?
Yes.
See? How do you get the wolf?
You get it in the Berserker pack if you pre-order the game.
Oh, no. Well, I pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered
Just
it.
check your store or something.
I'm going to have to get it. I did
I
pre-order
wonder
it.
if, like, as you go, is it the same place where you get like the skin for the horse and the skin
Well,
for the falcon
There's
or
like a
whatever?
mission or a pre-order pack thing that you're supposed to get, and I haven't figured out how to do that yet. There's supposed to be like an extra mission you get for pre-ordering.
Really?
I'm
Are
gonna
you
be
sure you
sad if
pre-ordered?
I did.
Yeah,
I
oh yeah,
bought it
he
early.
pre-ordered that. He was like, I'm good.
David says he's passed out, not even opening an eye. Well, we tried anyway.
Yeah.
You can't blame us for trying. We've set off everybody's smart home devices.
Alexa
What was the
and Hey Google.
how would you turn off people's Xboxes?
Just say Xbox turn off or Xbox shut off.
Okay,
And
does that work with the new ones or no?
no, because the reason why it worked on the old ones is because of Kinect. The Kinect would automatically
and you
listen
had
all
to
the
have the
time.
Connect on, right?
Well, the Kinect was on if it was plugged in. So people would be in game chat and some people have the voice come out of their TV. So people would immediately get into like a Call of Duty match and then just shout out, "Hey Xbox, turn off." And then they would like
That is just I'm sorry, that's a douchey move.
Yeah.
Well,
no, and people that have their sound the people that have their sound come out of their TV
Yells.
and use a regular microphone so that you hear both things deserve to have their Xboxes shut off.
Okay. Here is my biggest beef with Xbox, and Jeremy knows what this is. I hate when you put your headset on, the sound still freaking comes from the TV. With PlayStation, it immediately goes straight to your headset, sound from the TV is cut off. If I have my headset on, I don't want sound coming from my TV too.
Yeah.
So here's the
That's
thing
my
that annoys
biggest beef.
Kara. If she
That's
hits,
a legitimate gripe, I think.
if she hits mute on the TV, you get the little flashing mute symbol.
That
It
drives
bugs
me
the-
crazy.
Seriously,
So she
Why
has
is
to
that a
stand
thing?
this.
So she has to turn it down then.
And so I'm saying
Yeah,
that, like,
no, because I went back when I played video games a lot. I had the same problem. I just own my TV speakers sound like garbage. I have a sound bar, so I just want to hear stuff from there. If you mute the thing, so on mine it was huge. It was like a quarter of the screen just off the side. Mute, right? And I was like, why would you ever make that a feature? I don't care. Like, if I turn my TV on and I can't hear it, I'll press volume up, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden, then you can show me the volume settings. Right? But you don't need to broadcast to anybody who walks by in a 10-block radius that my television is muted. It's ridiculous.
And the fact they still do it all the time
Yeah.
is
yeah,
ridiculous.
it's dumb.
No, it just drives me nuts. It's like I said, if I am listening to my game through my headset, I don't need it to come through my TV as well.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
Do you guys want to hear a crazy TV story for a quick second?
Yes.
Again, a story for something.
Oh, no, it's not my story. So I was on Reddit and this was a cool story. It stuck out in my brain. So for Thanksgiving or somebody's father's birthday is coming up, mom and kids went to Best Buy and they bought a TV, a big TV. Okay, They went to check out and the cash registers were down. So the girl said, "You're just going to use Venmo."
Oh, no.
And so the mom's like, "Okay, but I also want to get the protection on it, like the 2-year protection." So then the person's like, "Okay, if that's not working, so you'll have to call like Geek Squad or email Geek Squad or whatever, and then they'll get you your protection." So the person goes through with the transaction. It was like came out to almost $1,000. They walk out, they go home, and they try to get a hold of Best Buy, and they can't find it on record. So they
Of
did talk to the
course.
manager. That girl that did it quit. And she absolutely had the money sent to her own Venmo.
What? Oh, my
Okay, you know what? Here's what I would have done. I would never trust an employee like that, especially with Venmo. Best Buy's not going to collect
No,
through Venmo.
they'll have an 800 number you call and give your phone number
Right.
over the phone.
Well,
or
here's what you do.
Card number over the phone.
You go online, you order for pickup in store,
There you go.
pay for it, be like, just bought it, I need my TV.
So
like, here it is. Like,
the crazy thing is, so Best Buy said, you're going to have to bring the TV back in, but they're going to make it right. But somebody else was saying, like, depending on the size of TV, if it was a $1,000 TV, I think it was like a 65-inch or something. Who wants to haul a TV back to the store and deal with all
I bring
that?
the box back.
Right,
seriously,
just bring the
or like
box.
cut out the barcode or something.
But Best Buy said they're absolutely going to make it right. But the fact that the girl had quit, so it was like, was this like a one and done? Was she a new employee and she did it and that was it? Or do you think she had tried this before with other people and she got away with it because
and this was the first person who wanted the 2-year protection.
who wanted the protection plan and that's why she got busted?
I would lean towards the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's just taking advantage of the idea that there's no way to track that this has actually gotten
Right.
missing. Your inventory is going to come short, but there's no way to actually figure out what exactly
Right.
happened.
Right. There's so many people that work. I mean, who?
So, yeah, it's Daryl says he doesn't even trust his mom with Venmo.
Well, so
Just going back real quick to the wolf thing, you have to redeem it from the store.
okay, I'll try to do that. I make sure I do that. Now I want to tell a Venmo story that's actually is my own. So
I want somebody to randomly throw out a topic, and we'll see if Jeremy has.
Oh,
a story
yeah,
for it.
we'll do the Jeremy rapid fire. I got a story about that.
Well,
in a
so
second.
let me just tell this Venmo one first of all. So Chris, have you ever used Venmo?
No, because I didn't want to give them my bank information.
So you and me, you've got me onto Google Pay. Google
So
Pay
easy.
is officially the only one that I use. And it's frustrating because nobody but you and my mom use it. So like that's it. But here's what's dumb. Did you know Venmo has a social feature?
No.
And when you use Venmo, anybody in your phone's contact list, it'll tell you what they're sending money to.
Yeah.
So Derek, who I love telling stories about, my old boss at the airbase who is no longer there, uses
Call him Professor X.
Professor X. When Derek started, he had gotten Sammy, Professor X's contact info.
Go Sammy X.
And, Derek had given him his, right? So
Yeah.
to this day, like a week or two ago, Derek's like, man, I can't believe the way that Professor X treats his kids. We're like, what are you talking about? He's like, he bills them through Venmo for so-and-so cell phone bill, so-and-so out to eat, so-and-so did this, so-and-so late bill for not paying their cell phone bill. Like, he bills them on Venmo.
That's
But
hilarious.
what bothers me is who wants that as a feature? Why do I do not want anybody to know.
Here's the story I thought you were going to tell. So, who's your coworker?
Derek.
So Derek comes and was like, I can't believe how much porn Sammy's paying
Right,
for
right.
Venmo.
Right. Like, why would you want your purchase history blasted out to the world?
Exactly.
Is that insane?
I would say way more questionable transactions happen on Venmo than on like Amazon Prime or something. I don't want anyone knowing what I'm buying on Prime.
Right.
Nobody needs to know. That's like your own personal thing, you know?
There was a dad who found out his daughter was with child because her targeted advertising tripped like, hey, you're expecting, and an actual pregnancy advertisement, like magazine pamphlet, came to their house.
Yeah, OnlyFans. That's exactly it. Yeah, I'm looking at OnlyFans.
It's yes. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, if he's buying all of his money.
$600 a month, OnlyFans.
Right? Do we get any words shot out?
Oh, yeah. So Daryl wants to know what your personal identifiable story is with traditional mucklucks.
Oh, mucklucks.
Those are a big deal up here.
I know. I mean, other than I'm pretty sure the dog chewed my sister had a pair, and the dog destroyed them.
Which dog was this?
Angel, the German Shepherd Collie, Golden Labrador.
How long ago was this?
A long time ago.
This would have been like 2000s.
Yeah, Ely is like it was as a big deal muckluck thing.
Muckluck. Now that just reminds me of.
I think
AJ
does that count as a story? Jeremy be like, oh yeah, my sister had a pair of mucklucks. She got destroyed by the dog.
I mean, technically, it is a story.
It's just I can't
a lame
embellish it
story,
because
but
it's not like the tofu hot dog story where the dog like hocked up the hot dog.
Yeah.
Or it's
man.
not like when Nini's friends were up for her wedding and Oliver ate the girl's shoes that she was going to wear to the wedding.
Oh, Oliver, bad dog.
Oh, he is a bad dog. Speaking of which, okay, I have a story about bad dogs. So today we were cleaning the house. If anybody has any other words out there. I mean, Daryl, I did tell a story about Crocs.
Daryl says anytime I send someone anything on Venmo, I say it's for dirty favor.
There you go. See? And that's the reason why you got to do it. Everybody's buying All Hallows Eve, and it's really for dirty favors. It's just a front for an illicit, illegal, dirty favor ring. What was I going to tell the story on?
Bad
dogs.
Oh, so just we're cleaning the house, and so Chris, you know.
Oh, I know.
Toby and pets have the way of. You have an entire house. We have 900 square feet of house. And
Which isn't
all
that
the living
big.
things will be in 25 square feet
Yeah.
of each other. Like, the cats will be on me, the dog will be right here. And so whenever I try to clean, Oliver follows me around, the dog, right?
Yep.
So it's like I'll walk into a room, and then he'll stand in the doorway and stare at me. And it's like, I want to go in and out of the doorway. I want to go. So then I'll, like, walk into the other room, and then he follows me in there and just stares at me. And it's super sweet. But it's really annoying because I'll go into a room, and there's the stuff where I'm trying to clean, and the stuff needs to be organized, so it needs to go from here to the empty spot, and he goes and sits in the empty spot or stands there. It's like, oh, right? So I try to get him to leave me alone.
By abusing him.
To Kara, that's what she says. So I'm like,
Verbally abusing
I'm like,
him.
Oliver.
Poor dog. Psychological, just.
I'm like, Oliver, go downstairs.
Go to your room.
Go downstairs, right? And so he'll go down a step or two, and then he'll look at me, and the second I turn around, he'll come back upstairs. So the code word I have when he does something bad, I ask him if he did this. So he'll be like, did you do this? Did you do this? And then he'll put his tail down and like sulk
his
away.
ears will go down, his tail will go down. He'll just look at you like.
So we were.
Well, so keep in mind, he's being an annoying turd at this point. It's not like he's innocent.
Right. So
But he
I
didn't
said.
do anything besides love us.
No, he didn't do anything besides not listen. I did say, please go lay down or, like, go away. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, so I look at the dog and we're having a staring contest. And I'm like, oh, I'll just make him feel bad and then he'll leave. So I said,
That's how I get rid of my friends.
I was like, Oliver, did you do this? And he sulks and Kara's like, no, be nice to him. And so I was like, Oliver, did you do this? And he sulked away because he didn't want to get in trouble for something that he did or did not do, right?
Yeah.
So Kara looks at me and she's like, that's just mean. And then she goes, I hope you know, you can't do that to our son. And I was like, yes, because I said,
He'll have higher level cognitive function
yes!
at least.
And if I tell him to go lay down or to go away, hopefully he
I'm
goes
talking,
away.
like, 1, 2 years old. Like, I mean.
What, did you do this? Did
Hold
you
on.
dirty
How
this
old-
diaper?
How old is Oliver?
7,
6.
6.5.
Okay, so if at 6.5 he's still not listening, then you might have a problem.
But just-
Developmental disability or something.
But here's
just-
the thing. If he's just like, I just want to be my mommy and daddy. Like, we can't be like.
Yeah, but that's why you got, what are those backpack, like you just whoosh, you just put him
Pack
in
and
your,
place?
you put him in
the
your,
papoose.
yeah, you just boom. If he wants to hang out with me, just bam, right here.
You're gonna carry around a 6-year-old in a
No,
carrier.
Chris was saying at that point, okay, you said 1 to 2 years old.
Yeah, no, yeah, because he wouldn't have the capability of
Right.
understanding. I said if he was 6 years old and still didn't have the capability of understanding, like the dog.
At 1 to 2, I'll just load him up. We'll just put him
At
right
6
here.
years old, you just put him out in traffic and let him go.
Yeah, let him figure it out.
I had the run of the street when I was 6 years old.
Traffic was awesome back then.
Well, I mean, we live in a very
Speaking
dead
of which,
neighborhood.
So
I've got hit by a car before.
pause on that story real quick. So Oliver does the follow and bother. Toby does the lead and bother, where I'm trying to go somewhere and he knows exactly where I'm trying to go, and he'll take 4 steps and then stop, and then I have to slam on the brakes, and I'll be like, so my roommates are be yelling, "Move! Move!" constantly because he's just in my way, and I'm like, got something heavy or awkward, or I'm
Yes.
just trying to get somewhere, and you've been to where I
Yes.
live. So coming out of the kitchen, you can either turn left to go to my bedroom or go straight to go to where my computer is. And he just knows where I'm trying to go. So he'll just park exactly where I'm trying to turn or go straight. And it's just like, get out of my way. And then, so it's funny, my roommate has kids and they have the room upstairs. And I call that Toby's room. And if I get really mad at him, I yell him to
Go to
tell
his
him
room?
go to his room and he'll go upstairs.
See, Toby listens.
He's a better dog than a lot
I
of dogs.
just love that Kara went right to the, you better not do that to our future child.
Yep.
It's like, yes, I'm gonna like guilt trip our son into not listening.
Daryl says, geez, Jeremy, read Shiloh, you monster.
Yeah.
David says, if you ask Grace if she did anything, she runs away crying, even if she didn't do anything.
Oh.
Daryl says, to be fair, I could be carried in one of those. Strap me up and carry me
Yeah, there you go. There you go. See?
I think we need a picture of that. We're gonna get a carrier, and Jeremy's gonna strap Daryl to him.
And
They won't
David
carry our
A.
swords.
David A. says, what to expect when you're expecting by Rise of the Podcast.
Exactly.
Daryl had one other. Oh, so going back to the Venmo thing, he said, it's easy to move games when it comes with one coupon for quote unquote special favors.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my goodness. You
I'm
guys are
signed, sealed, and
ridiculous.
delivered now. Okay, so
So-
what was the? What were you had?
You got hit by a car.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got hit by a car. Do I want to tell that story?
Yeah,
Anybody
well,
else?
so Gabe asked for car stories.
Oh well,
Or-
car driving stories, race car drive stories. I mean, I've got car.
He's
Query
got a car
Vickley?
story for every.
I've got a
topic.
car story. I mean, I've dropped a transmission on my chest.
He lit his RX-7 started on fire.
My RX-7 started on
It
fire.
never did get fixed from that.
Well, sort of. The bumper didn't. The exterior never did.
Yeah.
The engine absolutely did. Because the turbo sucked up all of the fire extinguisher remnants. It was bad. It blew it throughout the entire intake. But to hit by the car story. So, you know the tank and going down doing Pokemon stuff down there?
Yep.
This was, I mean, this is,
That Veterans Park?
like, this is before probably Pokemon barely existed. Like, this is probably 97, 98. I was allowed to bike around town without an adult.
Yep.
And so my parents owned a building down there. It was the Chief Theater at the time, which wasn't a movie theater. It was an antique shop. But
But it's called the Chief Theater.
it's called the Chief Theater.
But it was a theater at one point.
It was a theater at one point.
And it was called the Chief Theater.
And so, no, I was just biking. And so I did not stop. So I just went right under the bridge, right under I-35 there, or Highway
Yep.
33. I went straight. And the second I left the curb, a car came around the corner. And so I turned and I literally like smoked the side of their car and like fell down. The person stopped, slammed on the brakes, got out. I was like between 10 and 12 years
so
old.
the car didn't hit you. You hit the car.
Well, I mean, technically the car hit me.
Technically, you ran into the car if you got the side of it and not the front of it.
Yeah. And Kara slammed on her brakes and smashed into.
Right. So anyways, so I got up, and so the first thing that going through my mind was that I'm in trouble. And little did I know about pedestrian laws are so strict that I was probably not in trouble.
And you're also 12, so there's no way you're going to be in trouble.
Well, I just thought, I was like, how am I going to pay for this guy's car? This was just really bad. My whole front
Little
rim was like...
10-year-old Jeremy, like, how am I going to pay for this guy's car?
He just like reaches his pocket. He's got like two wadded up $1 bills and like a gum. And
pennies,
like a,
Fix it, mister.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so the guy was like insistent on if I was okay, and I was all I could think about
because he
was,
didn't want to go to jail for manslaughter.
well, I just wanted to get out of there so I didn't get in trouble. So I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So I hop on my bike, and as I'm like pedaling away, it's like, and he tried to stop me. He's like, are you sure you're okay? I can give you a ride somewhere. Or like, let me help you. And I'm like,
Stranger danger.
I was like, no, I'm gonna be late. So I just biked out of there. But yeah,
I'm
totally.
going to be late because 10-year-olds have appointments.
So here's
Well, I
the
wanted to
thing.
get away. I wanted the interaction to be over.
Jeremy's
and done.
all thinking, like, pedestrian laws. Bikers have to follow the rules of the road.
That's true. You're considered a vehicle when you're on a bicycle.
So even if you're 10 years old, boom, you can get a ticket for riding a bicycle drunk. So I'm just saying.
Daryl says, I'm glad I'm not the only one who dates things according to BP and AP.
Ha! Before Pokemon and after? Absolutely. It's my pre-95 or post-95 line in my brain. It was a significant moment in anything. It's an easy date to remember of like when Pokemon came out.
I remember it was 6th grade to me.
Oh, man. And then, like I said, the link cable and just, the passing by playing that thing at night. And then I got like the light for it. When your batteries would get low on that, they wouldn't just die. The screen would
Get dimmer and dimmer.
The 24 frames or the frame FPS would blur together.
Oh, that's right.
Do you remember that when the batteries would get low? The contrast and stuff, like even like Tetris. I used to have original Tetris. The Tetris blocks would be like solid as they were coming down because for whatever reason they couldn't refresh the screen.
I wasn't able to keep up with it.
Yeah, so that's what it was. That's what it would do when
That's funny.
I played Pokemon way back in the day. Man, the original Game Boy was the bomb.
Well, so I have a biking related story that resulted I never had a brand new bike in my entire life.
Oh, until
It was always secondhand, whatever's. And I had inherited a bike from my cousin that was pretty nice. And I was riding around with Eric, and we were over by, it was Hardee's at the time.
Oh, I
it's
love
Arby's
Hardee's,
now.
yeah.
But we're on that side of the street, and we're in the sidewalk, right? And we're just getting, so you know how there's the entrance to the laundromat? That was always there, even though the laundromat wasn't there at the time. And then there's another 40 or 50 feet of sidewalk, and then the entrance to where the road where you go into Hardee's.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we had just crossed over that first thing, and we're getting back up on the sidewalk, and there's somebody that was taking a turn, they were going out over the sidewalk, trying to get out on the other thing. They just, taking the turn weird.
Yeah.
And it made us, I was trying to go left to go away from the road of traffic, and Eric went right for some reason. And he had giant pegs on the back of his car, and he spoke jammed my bike.
Oh,
so my front tire went into his back peg, and it spoke jammed my bike, so the whole thing flips all the way over, right? I just fall off to the side or whatever. And we look at the thing. So his peg has a scratch on it. My bike, the front what are the arms that hold the front tire?
Yep.
Are bent all the way up and around that. All the spokes for the tire were snapped off. And so it was so it wasn't just I needed a new front tire. It's I needed a complete new front end to this bicycle.
Dang.
And of course, the dude that was driving like a jerk in the car didn't even stop.
No,
because he had we not, we would have run right into the side of it was a truck if I recall correctly, right into the side of the truck. Dude, if it wouldn't have been for us bailing out.
I have so many memories in that parking lot. I have so many memories. That's where I got pulled over after running 2 stop signs. And
What are you doing running 2 stop signs?
David called me. I love that story. I don't want to tell illegal stories in the podcast.
Jeremy, it's long past you being charged for anything.
So I was late.
Of course.
Actually picking up your sister from work. Believe it or not.
Foremost shame.
So I woke up and I was leaving my house.
Oh, I don't know if Gabe knows. Jeremy used to date Chris's sister.
Yeah. Who didn't?
So I just blow the stop sign on Doddridge or Carlton Avenue. Okay. And then so David calls me up and he's like, dude, did you just blow the stop sign? And I was like, yeah. We're a small town. Seriously. Yeah. When there's you can see somebody on the road and good possibility you might know who they are.
Yeah.
So David literally calls me up and he's like, A squad just turned his lights on. He's coming after you, just so you know. So now I'm committed. So now I ran another stop sign. I ran the Doddridge stop sign to try to get over onto.
Because 2 wrongs make a right, Jeremy.
Well, it
Two
does
wrongs
when
to
you're
take
trying
a
to get
right.
away. And so he totally ran up to me and caught me. So I ended up stopping and pulling over in the L&M parking lot. And then he asked me, he's like,
shame on you.
he let me go. He did. He let me go with a
Was it
warning.
because you're like,
I need to
my
pick
girlfriend's
girlfriend
gonna
up
kill
from
me?
work.
Well, no, that's what I said. He said, I asked why you're going somewhere in a hurry. And I said, I was supposed to pick up my girlfriend at the time, and I'm late, and she's waiting for me to pick her up. So he takes my license, and he goes back. And the better part about that story is I actually didn't have my license with me. The only ID I had with me was my checkbook. And I gave him my checkbook.
He probably wrote it down. Like,
And he went back to his car and looked me up off my checkbook, and he came back, and he even said, don't ever do that again, but you're young. Like, I'm going to give you a warning today.
do you know who it was?
And then I do not. And then he said, tell your girlfriend you got pulled over and that's why you're late. And I was like,
we
dang.
gave you an out even.
Cop bro.
That's the biggest solid ever.
Now, here's the thing, though.
you remember that,
Is
David?
it more embarrassing saying you got pulled over or more embarrassing just saying you were late?
Well, no.
If Jeremy's late of his own volition, you can be mad at Jeremy.
Yes. If
Right?
I'm late because of police.
Like, you can be less mad at him for like
Trying
like-
to be there on time?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was all the cop's fault.
Got some chat here. Daryl says, I still remember being on the playground when I learned that moves had PP.
Oh, yes, Pokemon.
I got my cheeks clapped in that battle when all I had was tail.
Yeah, you're going to kind of refresh that at a Pokemon stop or slap some ether on that guy or ether or whatever.
And then
Elixir.
David says he made a statement that I didn't read that we could do a whole podcast on car stories. And then he's like referring back to my previous statement when you were telling that car story. And then he says Mustang hubcap.
I was going to tell that story. So one of the first times I had a 1965 Mustang. I did not pay a lot of money for it. It was very rusted. It was only a 6-cylinder. Like, I had only had it for a couple days. I go over, pick up David, and we're drifting through L&M.
Drifto.
And then it's old, right? So the rubber on the tires compresses a lot, and the rims compress a lot. I don't know if we hit a pothole or if it was just from the fact like the suspension wasn't made for it, but we were drifting, and the hubcap of this car blew off, and it rolled from L&M all the way over to Premier Theater.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I'm 100% serious. I was going to tell that story tonight, David.
my
I was going to say, does David know that
Holy
one?
cow.
That is hilarious.
That's a distance. Like,
Yeah, we had to go, oh, man.
He says Mustang cigarette lighter.
Oh, no, I can't believe I forgot that story until he said, that one I forgot.
So this is what I like about the podcast. This will immortalize all the stuff that we forget.
Oh, man. So, Gabe and you guys, Latin Operation Forces,
And Daryl.
buckle in. This is going to be fun.
And other David.
Daryl. So
Everybody else who's watching,
I had the 65 Mustang, and
you had your grad photos taken with this car.
I did.
a maroon 65 Mustang.
Except for one of the fender panels was black.
Yeah, that's because I smashed into a dumpster in the middle of the night. Because an Xbox game fell off my front seat, and I reached down to grab it, and then
oh
I...
my gosh.
Oh, I remember exactly where that was, too.
Yes. Yep. This is over by Crystal's house.
Yep. I didn't want to say
Another
anything, but
ex-girlfriend.
you
It's
go
okay.
ahead, yeah.
It's
another
okay.
Another ex-girlfriend vicinity story.
So, all right. So I was just sitting there. I got this Mustang, and then David was with me. He was in the passenger seat. We were going to go for a cruise. I'm actually going to, I know I'm not going to do this story perfectly.
Oh.
Because
Yeah, your gamer tag
it's 65 Mustang. Yeah, it's Mustang with 65 in the middle. And so I'm sitting there, and it was an automatic, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
loser.
I put it in reverse at the exact same second that David says, I wonder if the cigarette lighter works, or I wanted to figure out. So I pushed in the cigarette lighter, and there's plenty of stories. I have very slow heat reaction time. Like when it comes to hot things touching me, I was whatever. So I'm sitting there, and the cigarette lighter pops out, and it wasn't glowing. So I touched it, and all of a sudden, like 2 seconds later, like smoke's coming off my finger,
Oh my
and I'm
gosh.
burning my finger, and I go, I scream. Well, I was in reverse already, so I just like smashed on the gas, and I backed up out into the street at full, we're talking full throttle speed out into the street on the 6th Street going up the hill. Then I immediately go, from speeding way backwards way too fast. So I just if I could take my foot as heavy as an anvil and smash on the brake, we stopped so hard, the car shut off. I've never had that happen in an automatic before. Have you ever slammed on the
Dang.
brakes so hard the car shuts
I
off?
have.
No.
I was going around a turn during a snowstorm, and my car started to spin out, and it stopped so quickly. Everything shut off.
So
you
you stop quickly.
Yes.
Like you stop extremely quick.
I took a corner in the Riviera so fast that it squealed my tires, but it didn't shut off.
See there.
So you know, on 45 where there's that one street to go up to like 28th Street or something. I wanted to go up that street and it just came up on me so quick. And I'm like, I'm going for it. So I'm going 45 miles an hour and I'm taking a 170-degree turn. And so I just went whop. So like the whole car is like the other direction, and all of my tires were squealing going around that corner.
Gosh. Chris is just drifting.
I never would have thought it was. I thought so. Normally, like if you're coming down on the Scanlon exit, turning decreases your speed dramatically because you have that extra angular momentum that you're fighting against. So I was like, well, I'll start making like I did go to hit my brakes and everything too, but like the turn was so sharp and it just the whole thing just went around.
Oh man.
But yeah, it did slow me down dramatically, but it didn't shut my car off.
There was some chat that had popped up. But if you guys know in any Hollywood movie or any type of movie where somebody takes like a jump off of something and the inhabitants of the car like rock and then come to a stop like that and then they like look over at each other. That's what I did when I was like, wait. As Eric, I was trying to teach him how to drive a motorcycle and I let him the 57 Harley Hummer, it's a 125cc motorcycle, does not have a return spring on the throttle. So if you pull the gas stays on. All motorcycles except for that have like return spring to wheel the throttle back. So that is when I learned the importance of how you give someone directions. So I said, let the clutch out slowly. And so he heard let the clutch out and he just let go while the throttle was pegged. And so he did a wheelie in a 1957, almost went through the back of my garage or my mom's garage at the time. And so he like grabs everything. Everybody there's two things that happen when somebody loses control of a motorcycle. They commit and they go and crash, or they squeeze and they just grab everything.
Did he go flying over
Clutch,
the handlebars?
brake, he didn't. Because he did a wheelie. So when he grabbed everything, the stopping actually just brought him back down. But he just stopped everything and the engine died.
He's a pretty, I was like athletic / he's got good reaction time and stuff.
But he goes, you said let the clutch out. And I said, I was going to say let the clutch out slowly. So now you'd have to say slowly let the clutch out.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I've learned this in dentistry too. I'll tell patients to turn toward me and it'll automatically be like, what chunk? And I'm like, a little. So I have to order my words specifically so it's not like people are like, turn to the left. Nope, just a little, come back, you know.
It is amazing when you are in a instructor position, how some people are so eager to like, and even you wouldn't think about it, but yeah, so basically, so what you're saying is, you'll say, oh, you mean to have them turn their head a little bit to the left, but you say turn your head, they just go, wah.
Yep.
They don't wait.
It's like, nope, not what I need. Go back. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually take my hand and I'll just gently grab their chin and like guide them.
I think that's perfectly acceptable.
Well, especially in that.
It's like, I'm just going to turn your head a little bit now or something like that, where it's like you're telling them as you do it.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is I'll be framing a shot with somebody in it, and then so automatically I have to mirror my directions. Because if I say,
yeah,
right,
step
and then
to your left,
it's the same with dentistry.
And then you tell people, it's like, I need you to take one step to your left. And one of two things will happen. They will either take the smallest possible step in the history of the universe, or they'll take 5 steps. Right? And
They'll go the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because I have people do that. It's like, turn your head to the left, and they'll go to the right. And I'm like, you're the left. And they're like, oh. It's like...
So what I end up doing is I'll put a hand up, right? So if you give them a nonverbal cue, even if you're not telling them something, I'll just go, I need you to take a step to your right. So I'm holding up my left hand, but it's your guys' right? So you're automatically linking this direction now. Even though I'm not doing anything with the hand, I just hold it up as I'm in the direction.
Smart.
And then people know which direction to go. It's like, I'm just going to need you to move a little bit this way. And as soon as they get where they're going, I'll stop my hand. And that will stop them from moving. So it's like, I just need you to take a step to your right. And then as soon as they get where they are, I'll just stop. And then I'll just put my hand down.
That's super smart.
And it's like linking this visual cue that they have no idea what's going on, but it just gives them that thing to latch to, so they know that they're not running out of the frame or not moving enough.
It's funny that there's this many similarities. So the one I always get in trouble for is when I get my hair cut. They say, put your head down. I don't go enough. So they'd be like, more. I was like, this is put your head down. Like, you, like,
Yeah.
what do you need to do here? Lawnmower? You gonna pull out a lawnmower to cut the back of my head? Why do I need to be like this?
Well, like
Because
with
we're
the
tall
apron on the
people.
back,
Yes.
it gets right up next to, I cut my dad's hair.
Yeah.
So it's like, I really need to be like,
Oh, got it. Because you're getting down
Yeah.
here. It's not for this.
So,
Yeah.
okay,
Here, got
when
it.
I go to get my hair cut, because I'm so tall and a lot of the hairdressers where I go are short, they will drop the chair as much as they can, but I'm still too tall for them to see, like, the top of my head. So I have to, like, slouch down in the chair so they can actually see, like, the top of my head.
Oh, funny. I seriously have stories I could tell all night about cars and stuff.
Yeah, he does. That's one
There was a
thing.
road rage incident, Chris,
Oh,
where
man.
David and I got on CB radios and blocked somebody in because we wanted him to stop and we wanted to talk to him.
dang.
To him.
Oh, my. You've never
you
beat anyone up in your life.
We got him pinched. So
What a move.
oh yeah, it was sweet.
I was going to say, I hooked Jeremy because of a car.
Yeah, she knew what my car was, but
His car, his RX-7 was all covered up except for like just this little chunk of the front bumper, and I was like, "Is that an RX-7?" He was like, "Yes, it is."
It's got sweet horsepower. Gabe says his GTI shut off on me when I was going up a hill. And he was, and with me being a rookie stick driver, I just rolled it all the way back down.
yes. Oh, I'll take another crack at this. My dad, when he teaches people stick, he makes them learn on a hill.
My
which,
dad, too.
Which is cruel. You got to learn. No, flat parking lot. People need the confidence.
My dad insisted on, he never, I learned how to drive a stick. This is a good story. But I'll get to it in a second. But my dad insisted like we were going to learn how to drive on a stick. He's like, I had to learn on the hills of Duluth, so you guys are going to learn on the hills of Duluth.
Yeah.
It's like,
See?
what a nightmare mode scenario. Granted, you will be the best driver of a manual transmission car ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have PTSD.
My dad taught Ruth how to drive how to drive stick going up ditch bank.
Yep. That's
And
just a
ditch
steep hill.
bank's is a long steep hill.
I like to go around and check out tires on like when the snow falls on steep hills though, and see if I can stop and then get started.
Oh, okay.
You know, like
Smart.
and to see how my grip is.
Daryl says, meanwhile, his haircut people start pumping up his chair like 1,000,000 times. So,
Get you a couple phone books to sit on.
yeah. The only reason people make phone books anymore is for people to sit on.
Professor X, when he went for my old boss, he's really short.
Oh, he's very short.
When he went for a ride in F-16, somebody went and put a booster seat in the airplane.
I remember that. I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jared says people are so close to you in Duluth with a manual. Yeah, they don't give you like so.
Nobody gives you-
Yeah.
Modern manual transmissions cars will prevent the rock back.
A lot of them do, yeah.
But like mostly cars in this area, if you're driving a 5-speed, you should just know if you're on a hill just to
Right.
give people a little bit extra room because it's going to rock back.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen in front of me 1,000,000 times. Where somebody rocks back with bonk and hits somebody in the freaking bumper.
It makes me nervous when I'm driving the Mini and going up a hill, and there's somebody that's like right there, like you can't even see their bumper. I'm like, I'm gonna hit them.
Even in an automatic, sometimes there's a
Yeah.
little bit of rollback. So I'll do the 1 foot on the brake, one on the
Yeah.
gas thing, just at least get the friction going.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got here? David said goodbye clutch leaving that way. I can't remember what specific that would be for. Oh, learning that way.
Yeah, learning that
way.
Yeah.
Daryl says I have an old YouTube video of me learning to drive a stick. Even with a reminder
Oh,
video,
I'd love to
I
even
still don't
see
know
that.
how to drive a stick.
It's not that bad. Slowly let the clutch out
yeah, so-
until you start to roll, then let it the rest of the way out.
So I learned how to drive in my buddy's parents' car. They had a Camry that was a 5-speed. And it was super nice, like, the easiest clutch in the world to use.
Yeah.
Right? And we just practice by just like they have a really long driveway. It's just you just drive forward and backwards on this driveway. You don't even like turn. You're just practicing starting in first and stuff. Once you're out of first, it's so easy.
Anybody
Yeah.
can drive a stick after first.
Yeah.
But then my buddy had a Subaru wagon that was also a 5-speed. And I would like mess around with him at school and stuff. Like I would steal his keys, and I actually stole his car during one of the lunch breaks at school. And this is like 2 days after like learning how to drive a stick. And like, you know, in the movies, like when you see like a student driver, they're like,
Yep.
that was me driving his car down Cloquet without a driver's license.
Oh my gosh.
In the middle of the day, by myself in a stolen car.
A story my dad told me is he had a friend named Jim, and Jim had a pretty new Jeep, and there was a girl that Jim was dating, and he was like trying to be nice to her and supportive, and she said, "Can I borrow your car?" And so he showed up. My dad was over there, and he's like, "Sure." So she gets in it. She goes to take it, and he goes, "You know, it's a stick, right?" And she goes, "Yeah, I know how to drive a stick." So she leaves. She goes down Highway 33 because he used to live over kind of like by Pinehurst. So she gets out onto 33, and 20 minutes later, the car shows up on the back of a tow truck. She went in first gear all the way trying to even get on the freeway and just never shifted out and blew the engine up. Just never shifted out of first. Just put it in first, got going, and just let her go.
And, well, like, how do you not realize your engine doesn't sound right?
Yeah.
Right, seriously. It's like, oh, it's normal. It must be something wrong with his engine. Like, seriously, you gotta know you gotta shift that if there's something wrong. Like,
People do it.
Yep.
was she blonde?
Oh, David says that's where the handbrake comes in handy on hills.
Oh yeah, you hold the handbrake with one hand
Yeah.
till you got the clutch going, and then let it out.
And then Gabe says, my new clutch is so stiff because of race car that if you let it out a little bit, it just hops forward.
Yep. That's
you gotta
that
find,
sticky
there's
clutch.
that butter zone where it's like
Yep.
it's got to be right there to hit the gas.
I drove an RX-7 with an Excetti twin disc clutch, so it actually had two clutch discs. Two clutch.
That's why you liked it so much.
Two clutch discs in it, and that thing was super grippy as well. And just like the pressure it took to even push out on it was unbelievable. Your leg would go numb if you tried to street that car. But we are a Star Wars podcast, Chris.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll talk a little bit about Mandalorian, but pull up any leaks that we can actually talk about.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about some Star Wars.
So while I'm pulling that up, David says my first time driving on a road was in Jeremy's mom's minivan from the high school shop to his house before I even had a permit.
Yep. That's because my mom used to let me take my her van anywhere when I was 15.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. My parents were awesome.
I was gonna say, Little Bean will not be taking our vehicle anywhere.
Just get him a farmer's permit or whatever. You can drive when you're 14.
Yeah.
Does it look like we live on a farm?
He can drive around the yard.
Just imagine it's like you can drive 8 feet in one direction. Then stop,
Yeah,
turn around.
I know.
Do you want to be like Mike, our neighbor?
I know, our old neighbor.
Oh, he let his kids drive dirt bikes and
Four-wheelers.
Circles around his yard, so all day you'd hear all day, and I was like, oh dear God.
So for those of you who don't know,
We are.
episode 4 of
Mandalorian.
came out. So we're doing Star Wars leaks. It's the best way to get your Star Wars information from questionable sources.
While you're pulling that up, Chris, I well actually somebody today.
You what?
I well actually
dang.
somebody today. So somebody posted some hype on Facebook about they just said episode 13 of The Mandalorian is going to be titled The Jedi. And somebody said
spoiler.
on there, they're like, there's only 8 episodes a season. So then I said, well, actually,
They're chapters.
it's season 1 is 8 episodes. There's 4 episodes out. So that's 12 episodes. So the next episode is 13 in the series as a
And
Yeah.
they're calling them chapters.
Chapters,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
technically it is chapter 13.
13. So, but I can't believe I did it.
And like I said earlier, Dave Filoni's current picture, if it's called The Jedi, Dave Filoni's current cover photo
Guys, we're probably seeing Ahsoka in
is
the next episode.
Ahsoka and Captain Rex. It's not just Ahsoka.
Oh!
It's also Rex.
So I see your thing, Chris. You read the leak, and then I want to talk about it because I'm pretty sure it is true.
Well, I can see it.
I can't see that. I can only it just reminded me of the episode.
So this is from episode 4. Can I make this bigger? No. Anyway, so there's a statue of IG-11 in the town square on Navarro.
No way!
And
I
so
didn't
right
even see that.
so right in front of the Mando, you can see he's like posed like this.
Oh, I would have
Which
loved
is
to have
epic.
seen that.
No, we didn't. I didn't see that. No,
I didn't notice
I was
it.
thinking about the Christmas special.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't notice that either, but that is amazing that IG-11 deserves a statue.
Yeah, he does.
I saw on the internet, everybody. Okay, so if you haven't watched, Brad, you haven't talked to this entire episode. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the newest episode of the Mando, in the room where we see the Force people, that's what I was going to talk about. Guys, it's probably Snoke clones.
Yeah, no,
That's
I've
what we
seen-
said when we
yep.
first pulled it up too.
It's like they do
I've
look
seen
like
a lot
Snoke.
of chat about that.
So it's probably Snoke, that
Proto-Snoke.
Baby Yoda's midichlorians.
And then which one of us called that they were harvesting midichlorians from Baby Yoda?
Kara.
Me.
I'm surprised Dave Filoni went there, knowing how much everybody hates midichlorians. They don't come out and like.
Well, okay, honestly, the one scientist guy never actually mentioned midichlorians.
Did he say MC though? He said like the MC levels were really high or something.
I thought he said
maybe.
N levels.
M levels?
M
Maybe
or N.
M for midichlorians.
Yeah, maybe, but didn't actually come out and say
Say
it. But then he said he needed more. He needed.
Yeah, he wasn't able to take
More.
enough because he would have killed the child had he not whatever. So
But even in a whatever standpoint, you wouldn't want to kill your supply. Because if you take it all at once and the thing dies, you
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
want to do that. If you let it live and replenish its blood,
But
infinite
then
supply of Jedis.
poor little baby Yoda's just gonna be
Can-
sitting there his whole entire life getting blood sucked out of him. Just
can we talk about how hilarious it was when they were flying around and he was doing the roller coaster
Oh,
thing?
yeah,
man.
that was so
That was
cute.
adorable. And then
Oh.
then he got an upset stomach afterwards.
Yeah.
The interactions he's having in the show are amazing. The electricity.
Oh yeah,
you'd
trying
be
to
like,
fix the ship.
oh man, it's like having a little buddy, a
I
little
love
tiny.
him.
Oh,
He's
it's so
sweet.
Well, so
fun.
speaking of little buddies, so Cara Dune's lava meerkat is shown breathing fire in
the
chapter
concept
12
art.
concept art.
So it's a lava meerkat, I guess.
That's what it
So
says.
that's that one of the things it could do.
Interesting.
And will we see more Cara Dune, or are they done on that planet? Is that it? Probably not enough time in the season left to even go there.
Well, she was supposed to have her own offshoot, but that's been canceled.
That's been
right?
canceled.
Bummer.
All right, what's
Dune's
next?
A BA character,
Let's
and they
see.
actually say her name right.
Pretty sure it's Cara Dune.
No, they say Kara. So,
Deadline recently did another interview with Katie Sackhoff
who is Bo-Katan?
when responding to rumors about a possible spin-off with Cara Dune and Bo-Katan.
Ooh.
She says, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. That's legitimately the truth. But we've heard people say that they don't know what's
Right.
going on.
Ewan McGregor
Yeah.
kept Kenobi under wraps for 5 years.
And then there's just a couple of promo things for the Star Wars Holiday Special.
So, okay, has anybody watched the holiday special? And if you have, let us know what you think. I thought it was hilarious. That makes me that much more excited for the Lego Star Wars game coming out
Oh,
next
heck
year.
yeah.
That unfortunately got delayed 60 times. And then, Chris, you know all the Lego sets we've been building? They all come with promo codes. It was like, get Palpatine in the new Lego video game.
Yeah.
Get the Star Destroyer in the new Lego video game. And it's like,
Well, with the
Lego
advent
video game.
calendar that we do have the new Star Wars advent calendar.
That's going to be
And-
starting up in a little bit here.
Yeah, and with that, don't you get Vader with the
You
Christmas
do.
sweater?
You get Vader with the Christmas sweater, which was hilarious.
So I got to catch up a little bit on some chat. While
All
I
right,
was
all
tagged
right.
away here. David said, we just fixed your truck, so you have to get both home.
My truck.
Your truck that you own? The truck that you...
That's already in Duluth. We just have to drive. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Also, you had to get both home? I don't know. Anyway, and then David asked me to watch New Holiday Special. We'll be talking about that in a second.
I loved the holiday special. Oh, man.
See here. Latin Operation Forces says production crew cameo with eyeballs.
Yes, I saw that in in one of the scenes. Cara Dune, Grief, and Mando are in a doorway shooting at stormtroopers, and off to the side you can see a guy's arm like cut off at the shoulder right here, but you can see he's wearing like a t-shirt and like an Apple Watch or something.
Nice. I did not see that.
I didn't see
Yeah.
that either.
So there's a boom mic in the first season in the jungle episode. Totally plain as day, dips down in the
Yeah.
shot,
Let's see if I can find
just
it.
hanging out. And then so there's a arm in the episode, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool. Who cares?
Oh,
I think
see you
it's
later,
funny.
Daryl. He said, see you later, fear alligator. Got to make like a magic carpet bounce. May the force be with
Nice.
you. Yeah, Daryl says the M count to avoid the word. Classic. From midichlorians.
Yep.
David said getting the truck fixed in high school, so we had to get the truck and van home.
Here you go, Jeremy.
That's what that
That's
was.
why we drove it. Got it.
So,
I'm so confused because they have my other car
Yeah.
nowadays.
look underneath Grief's arm.
Oh, yeah. Plain as day. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
We can send it to you, Chris.
Okay.
Should I show it to the front view?
That would not come across on.
Yeah, okay.
It's underexposed in the shot as it is, so it'd be hard to. be able to articulate.
So yeah, I like the holiday special, and like it was more kid driven than I thought it was going to be. You know, so it's like whatever complaints you want to make about how like the plot was pretty whatever, but like it was fun.
I love Farm Boy Luke. Like the old Luke with his drinking his milk.
I think they did the drinking milk gag a couple too many times.
Yeah, he just kept doing it. But
yeah. I thought it was funny when like he was like passed out and Ray put the milk like next to him, like it was like his like support.
Yeah, it was like his
teddy bear.
His teddy bear.
David wants to see the picture too.
I sent it to Chris. I don't know if there's any way you can. It's on Facebook Messenger. I don't know if there's any way we can.
Oh, give me your phone. I'll go show the front angle. Turn your brightness all the way up. It's going to be hard to see because it's barely there. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, that's... Oh, dang.
Well, you can...
Yeah, you can see it for sure. Here, just stop moving around. There it is. Right there, right in the middle of the frame.
So, yeah, that is an Apple Watch in a guy's arm. That was a sweet episode. We were laughing because the Grief Karga, his name is... Reading Rainbow guy.
No, it's not LeVar Burton.
Nope, it's
who is it?
starts with a C, doesn't it?
Carl Weathers.
Yep.
Carl Weathers. What show did he play in?
He was Apollo Creed in the Rocky films.
Oh, okay. Carl Weathers directed the episode, but he was in it. So we were just laughing how much funny it must be to like self-direct something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I was awesome. You guys all need to step up your game.
Yeah. Like you have to like say it like sort of like that like slow enunciated. It's like, okay, so now here's what we're going to do.
And then, anyways, the flying just knocked it out of the park, including like the baby.
Yes, Baby Yoda stealing the cookies. That was hilarious.
Yes,
That
using
was
the
so
force
great.
from
Well,
the kid.
It's funny, like right before that, I was like, I just used the force to pull him, and all of a sudden, Baby Yoda's like, and I'm like,
And then he just like stares straight at him, like what a power move, and like.
Yep.
I know
Oh,
this
yeah.
tiny little thing is like, what you gonna do? You know?
He's a great addition to Star Wars. It's
I
so
love
cool.
him. He's so sweet.
It's so neat. So we had a fun-filled Star Wars week. It was just I'm super excited to watch this episode, but to have the holiday special come out and that to come out, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fun Star Wars content coming up. So we won't be going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, Lego Emperor Palpatine is Jeremy's favorite character.
He is the best. World's best emperor. He chucks it and he's just whatever. Less talky, more fighty.
My favorite line was, "What are the chances of you throwing me down or betraying your master and throwing him down a reactor shaft?"
I liked Kylo Ren's moment though when he's like, "You want me to betray Grandpa?" Like that part was hilarious.
Yep.
And then I just loved the way that Vader said, "My son," when he saw Luke or whatever. That just was adorable to me.
These binary sons.
Just cuteness overload all around on that episode. Just really, really good.
When Palpatine has the change of heart going down the elevator
Yeah,
shaft.
and I'm going to turn my life around.
And then kaboosh.
So I want to really quick. Sorry for spoiler, it's been out forever. But Chris, we've also watched the Freemaker Adventures.
Okay.
And the second season weaves in and out the second Death Star.
Okay.
So it ends up with the kid fights a mock. There's a robot Palpatine makes called MOC, my own creation.
Yeah.
And this is like a dual wielding. He looks like an Inquisitor type robot. And so he steals. The Freemakers make a spaceship that's powered by a kyber crystal that can cut through anything. And so they're cutting through Star Destroyers and they're owning it. And this robot steals it. And so the Freemakers are able to destroy the ship. So MOC steals the kyber crystal, flies into the second Death Star, and uses it as a shield to protect the reactor so that the rebels can't blow up the second Death Star.
Okay.
So the main character goes there and he fights MOC in a battle to the death so that the rebels can blow it up, right?
Yeah.
Well, while they're there, what distracts MOC and causes him to lose is Palpatine falling through the shot. So it's
He's
adorable.
Like, no, my master.
Because he's doing
cannot
it.
Be.
He's doing it to save his master. So the fact that like he looks up and he sees Palpatine just falling like down, and he just keeps going like by. It's super funny to see that. So then the kid like steals the kyber crystal and blows it up, and then they swoop it like a ship swoops in and picks up the kid right before Wedge comes in to blow the North Regulating Tower.
That's
as
hilarious.
Lando comes in to blow it. So. That show is very, very much like the Certain Point of View books, where you get to see things that happen from like a different angle than you normally would.
Yeah.
So
From a certain point of view.
from a certain point of
I
view.
don't think it's technically considered canon, though.
It is in my book. It's not
it
technically
doesn't affect
considered
anything
canon.
really, but it's not canon.
There's an episode where they work for Lando and they
Yeah.
sneak into Cloud City to steal his capes that he left behind. So that's pretty funny.
Also, like, there's no way that the Christmas special is canon.
No, because Akbar is there and Greedo's there and people are dead.
I mean, isn't Akbar's kid in...
Akbar wasn't in it, was he?
I thought
Oh,
that
no,
I thought
it's like, it's a wrap.
That's right. Akbar
yeah.
was.
Yeah,
It was
well, yeah, and
Akbar.
obviously, like, Greedo's
Yeah.
been dead for 35 years
Yeah.
at this point.
I don't see the need. I don't see why they couldn't have made it canon, but
Yeah.
but the Greedo McClunky joke was hilarious.
Oh, that was so funny.
McClunky!
As he walks in.
And then then Solos?
That was
Unless
you want to shoot him first? Be my guest
Well,
or whatever. Bam.
Yeah, I was gonna say unless that's because of Holly Special, she's going back and forth in time or whatever.
Yeah, but all those guys are still attached.
Exactly. So yeah, never mind on that. Just kidding.
All around solid episode if you haven't watched it. It's really fun. 44 minutes goes by super quick.
It did go by quick.
It did. Like a lot of the trailer, those scenes that you saw, that was literally the scene. Like it was just like,
Yeah, it was very rapid fire.
yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, Chris.
Have we reached that point in time?
We've reached that point in time.
I suppose we have. Let's see if this button's going to work. Yay, it worked. Well, if you made it this far of the video, you've made it to the end of the video. Feel free to leave a like to show that you want to see more content like this in the future. Comment down below with how you felt about the Star Wars Holiday Special, the Lego one in particular. Subscribe if you're not already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time we upload a new video or go live. That way you can interact with us. Thank you guys so much for watching, and of course...
May the force be with you.